K-dramas continue to captivate audiences worldwide with their unique blend of heartfelt storytelling, stunning cinematography, and unforgettable characters. From gripping thrillers and heartwarming romances to historical epics and lighthearted comedies, there's a Korean drama for every mood and taste. And here are the top 10 K-dramas of 2025. Heavenly Ever After. In a whimsical afterlife, an elderly woman reunites with her beloved husband, only to find him transformed into his youthful self. Determined to preserve her identity, she chooses to remain in her 80-year-old form, leading to unexpected challenges and humorous situations. As they navigate their eternal existence together, they encounter celestial beings and confront unresolved issues from their past lives. Their journey becomes a poignant exploration of love, identity, and the complexities of relationships that transcend time. With each passing day, they discover that the afterlife holds as many surprises and lessons as life itself.
갚을 능력도 없는 애한테 돈을 왜 빌려줘요?
안 갚은 놈이
Hyper Knife. In a world where the line between genius and madness blurs, a once celebrated neurosurgeon now operates in the shadows, performing illicit surgeries for the underworld. Stripped of her medical license after a career-shattering betrayal, she navigates a labyrinth of moral ambiguity, driven by a thirst for redemption and recognition. Her path crosses with that of her former mentor, a renowned yet ruthless figure in the medical community, igniting a fierce rivalry fueled by past grievances and shared ambition. As they clash in high-stakes surgical confrontations, the stakes escalate beyond the operating table, delving into a psychological battle of wills. My Dearest, Nemesis, a fiercely independent planner at a prestigious department store, is known as the director killer for fearlessly challenging anyone in power. Her world shifts entirely when a new strategic planning director arrives, only for her to realize with growing horror that he's someone from her past. Years earlier, she met a mysterious online gamer named Black Dragon and harshly rejected him in person after learning he was a much younger teenager. Now, the poised and enigmatic man in front of her is the very Black Dragon she thought she'd never face again. He hides his hobbies, rock music, comic books, collectibles, behind a carefully composed facade as the heir apparent in a demanding corporate family. Mellow Movie. A dreamy cinephile turned critic meets a budding director with a complicated relationship to cinema, and the sparks are immediate, though unexpected. Their first encounter, a snowy, awkward romance, ends abruptly when he vanishes without a word. Years later, fate reunites them as she promotes her debut film, and he reviews movies professionally, forcing both to face lingering heartache. His sudden disappearance wasn't about rejection. It was all tied to caring for his injured brother, whose survival became his silent burden. She, too, was haunted by personal loss. Her resentment toward the industry stemmed from her father's obsessive devotion to film that ultimately cost him his life.
그만 보라 해라. 아, 혼자 일 가나?
Tastefully Yours. In Seoul's cutthroat food industry, a calculating executive who runs his family's fine dining empire prides himself on replicating success, but not flavor. When he discovers an obscure word-of-mouth eatery tucked away in Jeonju, he's drawn by a signature dish that challenges everything he believes about food. The owner, a fiercely authentic chef who operates a one-table, no-signboard restaurant, rebuffs his corporate overtures with unshakable pride in soul-stirring cooking. Frustrated but intrigued, he embarks on a series of absurd and endearing efforts, from mushroom foraging in the countryside to negotiating with local butchers.
널 잊을 거야. 지금.
Buried Hearts. He's an outsider with a photographic memory and razor-sharp wit who works his way into the inner circle of a powerful business empire. When he hacks into a colossal hidden slush fund worth 2 trillion won, it's meant to be his ticket up, but instead, it becomes a trap. The Leviathan he thought he served eliminates him, but the account is inexplicably empty. That spark of betrayal ignites a brutal game of ambition, power plays, and shifting allegiances. As he claws toward control of the conglomerate, he manipulates hearings, bribes key players, and navigates corporate backstabbing with chilling poise.
또 우리 할아버지 차강천 회장님 뜻대로 검사 집안의 검사랑 하는 이 결혼.
Mercy for None. A former enforcer, once feared and revered in Seoul's criminal underworld, returns after a decade-long self-imposed exile. His brother, once his closest ally, is found brutally murdered, and the authorities are no help. If anything, they're complicit. Armed with little more than a baseball bat and a thirst for vengeance, he dives back into the shadows of gang politics, where loyalty is a currency and betrayal is a constant. The deeper he digs, the more he uncovers. His brother's death was no random act, but a calculated move in a high-stakes power play. Good Boy. A fallen Olympic boxing champion, once the nation's golden boy, loses everything after a scandal destroys his career. With no path forward, he's unexpectedly recruited into a special police task force built from other disgraced athletes, each once a star, now struggling with regret. Alongside a sharpshooter haunted by scrutiny, a fencing prodigy with a tarnished name, a stubborn wrestler, and a gentle discus thrower, he stumbles into a new kind of battlefield. At first, their missions seem like a joke, a publicity stunt to save face for the police, but soon they're thrust into real danger. Smuggling rings, corrupt officials, and violent confrontations that demand every ounce of their skill. Dear Hongrang. 12 years after vanishing without a trace, the heir to a powerful merchant family returns, with no memory and an uncanny air of mystery. His devoted half-sister, who never lost hope, clings to the possibility that this stranger might be her long-lost brother, even as doubt gnaws at her trust. The mother, grief-stricken and desperate, embraces him, while another guardian, an adoptive son, watches suspiciously from the sidelines. Beneath the guise of reunion, dark secrets and power plays simmer within the gilded walls of the household. As the siblings' bond deepens, it teeters between longing and forbidden attraction. Head over heels. A high school girl leads a hidden double life. By day, she's a studious teen, but by night, she becomes a masked shaman, performing rituals and reading futures. When a mysterious transfer student visits her as a client, with a mother's worried face and a vision that spells his imminent death, her world tilts on its axis. The next day, he shows up in her class, unaware that she's the same person he met the night before. Determined to protect him, she silently fights dark spirits and curses, even as her heart races with first love.
오늘 잔치한다고 구경들 많이 오셨네.
Karma. A brilliant neuroscientist discovers a way to measure and manipulate the unseen consequences of human actions. What begins as a groundbreaking experiment to prove that every choice has an energetic echo quickly spirals into a dangerous game of fate. When she alters a tragedy from her past, the present begins to unravel in unexpected and devastating ways. Friends turn into strangers, and allies become enemies as reality bends around her shifting choices. The more she tries to fix, the more fractured her world becomes, forcing her to question whether free will truly exists.
보이세요?
The Haunted Palace. 12 years after vanishing as a child, the missing heir mysteriously reappears without memories, stirring old wounds within his powerful merchant family. His half-sister, filled with hope, yet haunted by uncertainty, grapples with the possibility that this stranger could truly be her long-lost brother. The grieving mother welcomes him back with trembling relief, while a suspicious adoptive son keeps his distance, convinced something is amiss. Beneath the surface of this seemingly blessed reunion, palace intrigues and jealousy bubble, revealing motives far more sinister than nostalgia. As she tentatively rebuilds their bond, the lines between love, longing, and taboo deepen, entangling them in a forbidden emotional maze.
무서운 하늘의 섭리는 한치의 어김도 없었지.
Love Scout. A young matchmaker with a flawless track record suddenly meets her toughest challenge when she's asked to find love for a client who claims true romance doesn't exist. Determined to protect her reputation, she takes on the case, only to realize the search will test not just her skills, but her own guarded heart. Each failed attempt brings hilarious, awkward, and heartfelt encounters that blur the line between business and personal feelings. Along the way, she begins to uncover hidden truths about why her client resists love and why she herself has been afraid to embrace it. Undercover High School. An ace NIS agent disgraced after a botched operation is demoted and thrust into his most unusual mission yet: infiltrate a top-tier high school as a student to hunt down a legendary stash of gold bars once hidden by Emperor Gojong. Posing as a teenager at Byongmun High, he stumbles through the world of lockers, slang, and hall passes, all while dodging suspicion and schoolyard bullies. His homeroom teacher, a passionate history instructor with her own emotional scars, senses something familiar in him, a past she thought she'd buried. As he balances covert operations with pop quizzes and after-school detentions, he begins to see the school's prestige hide something darker.
다시 말한다. 암시장 루트 겨우 추적해서 찾은 국보급 국가유산이야.
Resident Playbook. A group of first-year obstetrics and gynecology residents at a prestigious Seoul hospital embarks on a transformative journey filled with challenges and growth. Among them is a determined young woman who, despite financial hardships and a tarnished past, strives to prove her worth in the demanding medical field. Her colleagues include a former K-pop idol seeking redemption, a brilliant yet emotionally guarded peer, and a compassionate individual grappling with personal loss. Together, they navigate the complexities of patient care, long hours, and the intricacies of hospital politics. Their experiences are shaped by a seasoned fourth-year resident who becomes both a mentor.
근데 전 장갑도 없고 지금 그게 중요해?
Our unwritten soul. Two identical twin sisters, each leading starkly different lives, decide to swap places in a bold attempt to escape their personal struggles. The younger sister, a former athlete turned free spirit, has returned to her rural hometown to care for their ailing grandmother. The older sister, a perfectionist climbing the corporate ladder in Seoul, is silently battling workplace harassment and emotional exhaustion. As they step into each other's worlds, they confront unfamiliar challenges and uncover hidden strengths.
쌍둥이죠.
쌍둥이 임신 소식에 엄마가 패닉에 빠진 사이.
Study group. At Yusung Technical High School, a notorious institution known for its unruly students, a determined young man named Yoon Gamin stands out. Despite his exceptional fighting skills, Gamin harbors a singular ambition: to excel academically and secure a spot in college. Facing rejection from numerous study groups due to his reputation, he takes matters into his own hands and forms his own study group. Alongside him is Lee Han Kyung, a former tutor turned temporary teacher who becomes both a mentor and a source of emotional support. As they navigate the challenges of academics and the chaotic school environment, they confront not only their personal limitations, but also the systemic issues plaguing their institution. The Trauma Code, Heroes on Call. A seasoned trauma surgeon, celebrated for his expertise in conflict zones, is assigned to lead a struggling trauma department at a prestigious Seoul hospital. His unconventional methods and unwavering confidence immediately clash with administrators who prioritize profits over patient care. Determined to turn things around, he assembles a diverse team, including a former proctology resident eager to prove his worth, a sharp-witted nurse with a troubled past, and a compassionate resident juggling personal sacrifices. Together, they face high-stakes emergencies, from devastating accidents to life-threatening conditions, often under immense pressure and public scrutiny. Kian's Bizaarre B&B. On a remote island off South Korea, a webtoon artist is challenged to design and run a one-of-a-kind bed and breakfast. Joined by a BTS member known for his charm and a rising star actress, they transform the artist's wild sketches into reality. The guest house features unconventional elements like fire poles, a giant ocean slide, and outdoor sleeping arrangements, all painted in bright yellow. Despite a looming typhoon redirecting the initial stay to a rugged annex in the mountains, the team maintains a lighthearted and cooperative tone. Our Movie. A once celebrated film director, paralyzed by creative drought after his striking debut, decides to return to the craft by remaking his late father's beloved film. While researching for his comeback project, he meets a radiant young actress battling a terminal illness, whose fearlessness and optimism breathe life into his long-stalled screenplay. Despite knowing her time is limited, she pours her heart into the role, turning the project into both art and catharsis. As they work side by side, their professional collaboration blossoms into something deeply personal, blurring the lines between the story they're telling and the lives they're living. Their bond, woven through shared passion. When Life Gives You Tangerines. In the bucolic beauty of Jeju Island during the 1960s, a bright young girl raised by a henyo, female diver, dreams of becoming a poet, even as poverty and loss threaten to extinguish her spark. After her mother's tragic death, she is taken into the home of her childhood friend's family, where he quietly supports her through hardship, selling produce while she reads by the seashore. As they grow into adolescence, their bond deepens, built on shared dreams, poetry, and the quiet resilience of ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances. Through decades, their love unfolds with gentle devotion, weathering historical storms, economic shifts, and the weight of familial sacrifice. That wraps up our list of the top K-dramas of 2025. Which one are you most excited to watch? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this countdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.